In remote locations, the line between a routine trip and a life-threatening encounter is thinner than you think. From a hunter discovering a disoriented naked man in a creek, to campers hearing a violent, unexplained noise rip through the dark. If you found yourself in a situation that didn't make sense, would you know when it's time to get out? This brief clip was shared on TikTok by a user known as Road31990, an Italian traveler who documents his solo cycling trips across some of the most remote and visually striking regions in the world. His content is typically quiet, reflective, and centered on solitude and landscape. But this video stands out for a very different reason. Very little context was provided with the upload, yet the footage largely explains itself. What is known is that he was traveling alone, camping overnight in the middle of a vast desert, surrounded by towering sand dunes. There were no nearby towns, no visible roads, and no signs of civilization anywhere in the area. At around 3 in the morning, he was suddenly awakened by noises coming from just outside his tent. Rather than calling out or stepping into the darkness, he chose what felt safest in that moment and began recording. Whatever was outside appeared to move slowly and deliberately, lingering just beyond the thin layer of fabric separating him from the night. There was no voice and no explanation, only the unsettling realization that he was no longer alone. No follow-up was ever posted. There was no clarification about what caused the disturbance or how the situation ended. The only indication of an outcome is that the clip was eventually shared online, suggesting he made it out without serious harm. Even so, the lack of closure leaves the moment unresolved. Whether the presence belonged to another traveler, someone with unclear intentions, or something he chose not to explain, the video serves as a quiet reminder that isolation does not always equal safety. Even in landscapes that appear completely empty, the possibility remains that someone else may be closer than expected, watching, waiting just beyond the edge of the light. Was this an ordinary encounter left unexplained, or something that felt too uncomfortable to revisit? Not just in horror movies, but in real life as well, abandoned cabins have long been tied to urban legends and cautionary stories. They are the kinds of places most people instinctively stay away from. So when a group of French Canadians chose not only to explore one of these cabins, but to set up camp directly outside its front door, the outcome felt almost unavoidable.
Ouais. Fait que ce fut c'est une super de belle soirée. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez, les amis?
Moi, je pense que le feu, il a réussi en esti. Il a réussi en tabarouette.
Un esti de beau feu.
Check, check.
Ah! Frank, pogne la flashlight! Vite, pogne la flashlight! Fuck, c'était quoi? C'est où? C'est pas là. Il est chaud, là! Chose là!
Oh shit!
You! Attention!
Laisse aller, hein?
Dans l'eau!
Early on, the atmosphere appeared relaxed and uneventful. The group filmed their surroundings, treating the night like any other casual camping trip. But while recording the cabin itself, they noticed something unusual. From within the doorway, a shape briefly appeared, as if something were peering out from the darkness inside. They moved closer to investigate. The doorway was completely empty. There was no movement and nothing visible inside the cabin. Moments later, however, the same figure appeared again, this time outside the structure, close enough to confirm it wasn't a trick of light or shadow. Instinctively, they moved toward it, adrenaline taking over. Once again, it vanished. There were no footsteps, no sound, and no clear direction in which it fled. It was simply gone. What followed was confusion and disagreement. Some questioned whether the moment had been staged, a deliberate hoax created for attention. Others believed they had witnessed something genuinely unexplainable. The footage itself never offers a clear conclusion, which may be what makes it so unsettling. Whatever they saw did not behave like a person, but it didn't move like an animal either. That uncertainty leaves an uncomfortable question behind. Was this a prank taken too far? Or an encounter with something that never intended to be seen at all? Either way, the moment fades without answers. This story begins with a couple in Russia driving late at night along a quiet road that cuts through a wooded area. It was a calm, uneventful drive, and nothing suggested that anything was about to go wrong. The low sound of the engine and the dark outlines of trees were the only things surrounding them. Without warning, that calm was abruptly broken. As they continued forward, a large tree suddenly collapsed directly in front of their vehicle, crashing down across the road and leaving them with no time to react. The fallen tree blocked their path, forcing the car to pass through the debris. No one was injured, and the vehicle avoided serious damage. But the driver was visibly shaken by how close the situation came to turning into a disaster. Even after the immediate shock passed, one question remained unanswered. What caused the tree to fall so suddenly? Whether it was simple coincidence, structural weakness, or something unseen, the moment served as a stark reminder of how unpredictable nature can be. In this case, there was no sign of malicious intent, only the sudden and very real danger of a massive tree falling without warning. Quick reflexes and a bit of luck ensured the couple escaped unharmed, avoiding what could have been a far more serious outcome. It is likely a moment they will remember the next time they consider driving through wooded roads late at night. Situations like this show how fast everything can change in a single second. And as you'll see in the next clip, that sense of sudden danger appears once again, just as unexpectedly. This short clip comes from the TikTok account Unfitter, which shared a video lasting less than a minute. It was recorded many years ago during a solo overnight camping trip. As night falls, strange and unfamiliar sounds begin to echo through the surrounding forest. These do not resemble the typical noises of nighttime wildlife, and there is no clear indication of where they are coming from. Alone and completely surrounded by darkness, the camper begins recording, capturing only the unsettling audio. There is no visible movement and no visual explanation, just the sounds themselves. No confirmation is ever given about what caused them. Whether it was an unknown animal, a natural occurrence, or something else entirely, remains unresolved. That lack of answers is what makes the clip so disturbing. In total darkness, the absence of explanation often becomes more frightening than anything that can be seen. Sometimes, the fear comes not from what appears, but from what never does. So, what do you think was making those sounds? And would you have stayed to find out? The same sense of uncertainty carries straight into the next terrifying video. This next clip was shared on YouTube by Casey Sanders and documents one of the most unsettling encounters a person could experience while alone in the woods. It took place on October 2nd, early in bow hunting season. Casey had arrived at his hunting stand as he had many times before, expecting nothing more than a quiet morning outdoors. Before he had time to settle in, something completely unexpected happened. From somewhere below, he heard a man shouting. At first, it made no sense. This was private land, remote, silent, and far from public access. When Casey looked down toward the creek, he saw a man standing in the water, holding a walking stick. He was completely naked, with no clothing, no gear, and no supplies. He appeared exhausted, disoriented, and out of place. Casey immediately began recording, not out of curiosity, but out of caution. He was alone, armed for hunting, and suddenly confronted with a stranger who clearly did not belong there. Given the circumstances, his reaction was firm and guarded. From his perspective, this was an unknown individual on his property, deep in the woods, behaving unpredictably.
Talking about Christian here, you know this is a hunter, and I'm a little confused. This is my land. I'm here with weapons, and somebody standing in my creek naked. I mean, I'm not gonna shoot you, but you're... What? Are you alone? If I see somebody else, this will not be good. What? Explain to me what happened.
As the encounter continued, the man attempted to explain what he believed had happened to him. He claimed that days earlier, he had attended Tomorrow World, a large electronic music festival. According to his account, after the event, he was assaulted by a group of people, stripped of his belongings, and abandoned in the forest. He said he had no memory of how far he had traveled afterward, only that he eventually found water and followed the creek, surviving for several days with nothing. What made the situation even more disturbing was the man's mental state.
Show? What kind of show? You know what it was called? You don't know what it was called? Huh? Where are your clothes? Where? You don't know where your clothes are?
He struggled to answer basic questions. He could not clearly explain where he was, had difficulty recalling the name of the festival, and knew he had an address but could not say it. At times, it was unclear whether he was describing real events or speaking through confusion, exhaustion, and possible trauma.
Nobody's with you. I mean, you gotta look at it from my standpoint. Listen, you know you're not far from... You went to Tomorrow World, I'm guessing? What? Okay, you're not far from the original place. Do you know where it's at in relation to where you live? Where do you live? No, better than that. No, what county? What's your address? What is it? You can't think of it? Hang on a minute, man. I got something to eat for you. Just don't do nothing stupid right now.
Holy crap. Despite the tension, Casey remained alert and did not leave. He provided the man with food and worked to keep him calm. Over the next hour, footage not shown in the clip, he slowly guided him out of the woods and toward a nearby road. Eventually, Casey was able to contact someone who knew the man and could come pick him up. After sharing the video, Casey addressed criticism he received online for sounding confrontational at the start of the encounter. He explained that viewers did not see what followed, the time spent helping the man, ensuring his safety, and staying with him until help arrived. He also pointed out the reality of the situation. There is no clear guideline for encountering a naked, disoriented stranger in your creek while alone and armed in the wilderness. He did not abandon the man, and he did not escalate the situation. Despite the fear and uncertainty of the moment, his actions may have saved a life. The encounter serves as a reminder that the wilderness does not only conceal animals or the unknown. Sometimes it hides people who are lost, broken, and barely holding on. And perhaps the most unsettling realization is this: some of the most frightening encounters in the wild are not supernatural at all, they are human. So what do you think truly happened to this man before he was found? It captures a solo trip into a national park that slowly shifts from calm and routine to something far more unsettling. The creator heads out alone, intending nothing more than a quiet stretch of time in the forest. There's no strict plan, no specific destination, just walking, exploring, and eventually setting up a small campsite. At the beginning, everything feels peaceful. He identifies what appears to be an ideal location to build a fire. Dry ground, some protection from the wind, and enough open space to manage it safely. As he continues deeper into the woods, he observes the environment around him. Unusual plants, soft, muddy terrain, the kind of landscape that feels remote and rarely disturbed. He speaks casually about preparing a fire and settling in for the evening. There's no tension in his voice, only the steady confidence of someone comfortable outdoors. That calm doesn't last. A sudden crack echoes somewhere in the distance.
gonna go under this. What the fuck? Hello? Gotta make a fire. I feel a lot better when I got a fire going. What the hell is that? This is a decent spot. I'm gonna go gather some wood. I'm gonna make a little fire, have a nice beer. I heard something cracking in the woods. Now, if you live in Canada, when you hear something cracking, it doesn't usually mean it's a small animal. It's usually a deer, a bear, anything of that sort. So it should never be taken lightly when you hear a branch breaking.
He attempts to ignore it and focuses on a practical task, starting the fire. The ground is still soaked from days of rain, and nearly everything around him remains damp. He methodically explains his approach, using birch bark as a dependable fire starter even in wet conditions. It's clear he understands what he's doing. Eventually, the fire catches. The flames bring light, warmth, and for a moment, relief. Then the sounds return.
Yes. What was that? Hello? I'm not afraid of this fire spreading because there's wetness everywhere. I'm just gonna do a 360 around camp because
Another crack. Closer this time. He pauses mid-thought and scans the tree line. He calls out instinctively, partly to identify an animal, partly to make his presence known. There's no answer, only silence. And that silence feels heavier than the noise itself. What unsettles him most isn't wildlife. In fact, he admits he almost hopes it's an animal. Animals behave predictably. People do not. The possibility that someone else might be nearby, unseen, watching his camp feels far worse than any bear or deer. He circles the campsite, checking the perimeter while keeping the fire alive. He explains that a larger fire can discourage curious animals from approaching, but his tone has changed. More cautious now, more deliberate.
what? Hello? Crap. Hello? I better get some more branches. I don't like what I'm hearing.
When the cracking continues, he reacts immediately, gathering more branches and feeding the flames. He openly admits that if the noises persist, he may leave. Nothing visible has happened, yet the atmosphere alone is enough to make him reconsider staying. As the woods finally fall quiet, he reflects on how he manages fear in moments like this.
If I keep hearing those noises, I don't know how long I'll stay. Like I said earlier in the video, when you hear a branch cracking in the woods, it means it's something heavy. I want to think the best case scenario that it's a curious deer, but you never know.
He talks about controlling imagination, staying grounded in what's directly in front of him, and avoiding worst-case thinking. Panic, he explains, leads to mistakes. After about 20 minutes without another sound, he allows himself to relax slightly. The fire still burns. The forest remains still. Whatever moved through the trees never reveals itself. No figure appears. no animal steps into view. There's no explanation, only the lingering awareness that something heavy was moving through the forest while he was alone. Sometimes that's enough. Nothing dramatic needs to happen. The unknown is what stays with you long after the fire dies out. In situations like this, the mind naturally searches for the safest explanation. Wildlife, shifting branches, wind through wet trees. But when patterns repeat and move closer, uncertainty becomes harder to dismiss. So what do you think was moving through those woods that night? An animal passing through, or something that chose not to be seen? These clips were originally shared by a TikTok user named Rose Honey Morgan. She had taken her dogs and her baby out for what she expected to be a quiet, uneventful walk through the woods. The plan was simple: fresh air, a calm environment, and a brief escape from the routine of daily life. Nothing about the outing was meant to be adventurous. However, the peaceful mood didn't last long. As Morgan walked farther along the trail, something ahead caught her attention.
Rough today. Another thing that really pisses me off about my husband. Hang on. Are you seeing this? Fire, fine. Fine, whatever. That's not fine. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Actual. The dog's gonna hear something.
When she turned her camera toward the area, several crude stick figures came into view, arranged near a group of burned trees. The figures were not scattered randomly. They were placed upright, balanced carefully, and positioned in a way that seemed intentional, almost as if they were facing the path. The sight immediately made her uneasy. According to Morgan, the scene didn't feel like a harmless prank or something children had thrown together. There was no sense of playfulness. There were no signs of a campsite, no trail markers, and nothing else to suggest a normal explanation. Instead, the figures stood silently among the charred wood, creating a strong sense that something was off. She didn't stay long, but the feeling of discomfort followed her. Not long after leaving the area, the situation escalated.
The dog's gonna hear something. Am I overreacting? Or is that actually quite alarming?
The original video ends there, but the encounter itself was not over. Almost immediately, Morgan shared a follow-up clip.
Oh my actual god.
In this second video, her dogs suddenly become alert, clearly focused on something out of frame. Their posture shifts, ears raised, bodies tense. If you look closely through the bushes, a person can be briefly seen stepping into view before disappearing again. The clip cuts off before anything else is shown. No explanation is given. There is no confrontation shown, and no update is provided about what happened next. As expected, the comment section quickly filled with theories. Some viewers linked the stick figures to ritualistic symbolism, suggesting the area may have been used for occult practices. Others believed the person seen in the bushes could be directly connected to the figures. Some offered more grounded explanations, such as survival markers, improvised art, or someone living off-grid who didn't want to be seen. Whatever the explanation, it's easy to understand why the situation felt threatening, especially with a baby involved. Being alone in the woods is one thing. Being alone with a child, strange symbols, alert animals, and an unknown person nearby is something entirely different. Morgan never posted any follow-up explaining what happened after the second clip. However, she did continue sharing content afterward, suggesting that she and her child made it out safely. Still, the footage leaves behind unanswered questions. The lack of context makes it impossible to know whether this was an innocent coincidence or a situation that truly posed a risk. Who created the figures, and why were they placed there? And who was the person watching from the bushes? The channel behind this footage is known for capturing loud, impulsive moments that feel spontaneous and unfiltered. Most of their videos revolve around a group of friends chasing freedom, noise, and humor wherever the night leads them. But on March 13, 2010, during what was meant to be a casual camping trip near a river they referred to as Amicalola, that carefree energy slowly unraveled into something far more unsettling. The trip began on the road, with the group piling into a vehicle, scraping together loose change for gas and beer. They laughed at their lack of planning as they drove toward the woods with no real destination in mind. Only the intention to camp somewhere, anywhere, for the night.
We gonna head on up there to that Amacola. They call it the Jugulbla River in Navajo, but there's no Navajos around here, and the Cherokees, so that's kind of the name that we go with around here in these parts. Yep. Stick shift. So guess we're gonna go stop. We're gonna go our poor ass, we got some change. We'll go buy some beer, bit of gas, cancer sticker 10. I don't know, we'll see you later.
As the night went on, the mood began to shift. Their biggest concern wasn't weather or wildlife, but finding a place where they could stop without drawing attention. They debated the risks of camping somewhere unofficial, weighing the chance of being asked to leave against the more serious consequences of trespassing in the wrong location. At the time, it felt like a harmless gamble.
Well, we just got done paying with change, and you went to high school with that girl.
What?
I know you.
Yeah.
She's like, that's because we went to school together. And I was like,
She'd be like, so how's college? You get a degree in small service station economics?
she hooked us up with a can of Grizzly for free.
Yeah? The fat one? Behind the
That same old meth head, like crackhead head
yeah?
that was in there, that's 26, she's in there. I think
Is
she
it?
just fucking does a bunch of meth and hangs out. So we got plenty of gas.
I'll go.
They made a final stop at a small roadside station, paying for gas and beer with handfuls of loose change. The moment was chaotic and filled with joking, the kind of late-night interaction common in small towns, where familiarity and recklessness blur together. It felt like nothing more than another memory in the making.
So what are we gonna do?
Who we could holler at.
That's what I'm saying. Like we don't know what we're gonna do.
Dude, I'm about to drive around here and find some fucking where we can go. Where it doesn't have any fucking posted signs, where it's just off the beaten path. I just passed probably 12 different little cutaways on the way up here.
I mean, I'd rather get in trouble for camping somewhere not allowed to than camping somewhere not allowed to and trespassing. You get shot for trespassing.
Eventually, they chose a trail that led off into the woods. It wasn't marked as a campsite, but it felt remote enough to remain hidden. After a short hike, they found a clearing that appeared isolated, far from roads and far from people, or so they believed. By the time they reached the spot, it was already very late.
It's like 2 in the morning. We just found a campsite.
Everything that was in my pocket's gone. I just went like this, and then I scooted like this, and then I didn't have my balance, and I just went.
The forest was completely dark, swallowing their flashlight beams after only a few feet. As they set up camp, their laughter echoed through the trees, bouncing back in a way that felt unfamiliar. The jokes continued, but the stillness surrounding them made it clear just how far their voices were carrying into the night.
Can you join me in the ceremony?
This right here, my friend.
What? That's right. So light.
Last beer of the night.
Last beer of the night.
Here you go. Mine's already cracked. I've already taken sips out of it.
Guys, to a night filled with change.
Filled with unexpected adventures.
Filled with last minute decisions and not many regrets.
And last second pleasures.
Yeah.
They eventually settled in, marking what they considered the last beer of the night. A small celebration of loose change, impulsive decisions, and unplanned adventure. Yet the atmosphere around them felt increasingly tense. The silence wasn't calm. It felt alert, heavy, and watchful. That sense of isolation gave them confidence, but it didn't last. Something in the distance caught their attention.
White rabbits. They follow me everywhere I go. They are manatee. Holy shit, that just freaked me out.
They just freaked my ass.
You see that dude? Hey!
The laughter stopped abruptly, replaced by confusion, as they tried to make sense of what they were hearing or seeing. The quiet forest now felt occupied. Then, without warning, a violent sound ripped through the darkness. It was abrupt, aggressive, and uncomfortably close. The noise shattered the moment, and the video cuts off almost immediately.
I enjoyed the sound.
I thought I heard an engine earlier.
What? You serious?
A little bit. An engine. Like a car pulling up or something.
I would see light, man. Ain't no way they're past. Do cops get sneaky?
Yeah, like that's a fucking. Oh, dude.
There was no time to react and no explanation offered. only the echo of chaos erupting just beyond their line of sight. When the video was later shared, no follow-up information was ever provided. There were no updates and no clarification. All that remained was speculation. Some viewers believed the sound resembled gunfire mixed with a barking dog. Others suggest it may have been wildlife or a warning. Some think the group unknowingly camped on private land and startled someone who didn't take kindly to trespassers. Whatever the truth may be, the ending serves as a stark reminder. When you step into the wilderness, you are entering a space that doesn't belong to you, and sometimes it makes that fact painfully clear. With no context beyond the final sound, it's impossible to know whether this was a misunderstanding or a genuine threat. Was it an accidental encounter or a warning they were never meant to ignore? What makes the next video especially disturbing is what 3 boys unexpectedly encountered. On an unrecorded date, the boys were spending the day dirt biking, riding deep into the quiet isolation of the forest. What began as an exciting and carefree outing quickly turned into something far more frightening. As they followed the winding trails, the calm atmosphere of the woods was suddenly shattered. Without warning, an apparently intoxicated man stumbled out from the trees, shouting loudly. He was holding a gun in one hand and a beer in the other. He stepped directly into their path, forcing them to stop. His behavior was erratic and aggressive, immediately triggering fear.
Stop! 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 Silver Subaru, Baja. Have you seen it up there?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm positive. We were at the mine.
Just rob me.
I haven't seen him.
Thanks, bro.
Oh my God, Jesus. My dad, though.
The man began questioning them, asking whether they had seen a silver Subaru. He claimed he had been robbed and appeared increasingly agitated as he spoke.
Silver Subaru, Baja. Have you seen it up there?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm positive.
Just rob me.
I haven't seen him.
Thanks, bro.
The situation felt unstable and dangerous, and the boys sensed that staying any longer could put them at serious risk. Trusting their instincts, they didn't wait to hear more. They quickly fled the area, leaving the unsettling encounter behind. Although they escaped unharmed, the realization set in just how unpredictable and dangerous seemingly peaceful places can become in an instant.
Dude, that's not funny. That wasn't funny. Hey, I got it on film.
After the incident, the boys reported what happened to the local sheriff's office. However, they were told by law enforcement that it wasn't a serious concern. No further investigation was carried out, leaving the identity of the armed man and his intentions completely unknown. Stories about spirits or unexplained phenomena can be unsettling, but they can't cause physical harm. People, on the other hand, are far more unpredictable. You never truly know their motives or what they might be capable of doing. Fortunately, these boys didn't have to learn that lesson the hard way. Their quick thinking and fast escape ensured they stayed safe. Still, it's an encounter they won't be forgetting anytime soon. With no follow-up and no investigation, the true threat behind this encounter remains unclear. Was this man genuinely in distress, or was the situation far more dangerous than it appeared? An anonymous TikTok account known as Paranormal as Mysterium uploaded a short video many years ago, lasting under a minute, titled, "When Camping with Friends Goes Wrong." What begins as a routine camping trip quickly shifts into something far more unsettling. On an unrecorded date, a small group of friends traveled into the forest for an overnight camping trip. The location was remote, quiet, and once night fell, completely consumed by darkness. At first, everything seemed normal. The group settled into their campsites, preparing to sleep after a long day outdoors. As the night wore on, the atmosphere began to change. Late into the night, one of the friends left his campsite and walked over to the others, clearly shaken. He explained that he had been hearing strange noises for some time, sounds that didn't resemble typical wildlife, and that something about the area felt wrong. The others attempted to calm him, suggesting it was nerves or imagination. But before the situation could settle, it suddenly escalated. Without warning,
What the fuck is that?
Yo, what's...
Run! Run!
Guys, wait! Oh.
A stranger appeared just outside their camp, asking for help. The timing alone felt unsettling. One of the friends stepped out to see what was going on, and that's when the encounter took a disturbing turn. The figure outside the camp no longer appeared human. His limbs seemed unnaturally twisted, and his movements became erratic and distorted. Moments later, he abruptly ran off in the direction of the other campsite. The footage ends there, cutting off without explanation. What happened next remains unknown. There was no follow-up video, no confirmation that the group made it home safely, and no explanation for what they encountered that night. Whatever appeared outside their camp left behind only unanswered questions, and a chilling reminder that the woods feel very different once darkness falls. With no context beyond the brief footage, it's impossible to determine whether this was a person, a trick of fear, or something else entirely. Was this a real encounter, or a moment of panic that spiraled out of control? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.
Hello?
The wilderness is indifferent to human life, and one wrong turn can be fatal. We look at a freezing tragedy near the summit of Austria's highest peak, a camping trip that ended in a double murder on a California beach, and a hunter intimidated on public land. How safe are you really when you venture off the path? A hiker moved deeper into the forest when he noticed something out of place. One tree stood apart from the others, its trunk bent and twisted into an unnatural shape. There were no signs of cutting or tool marks, and every surrounding tree was straight and healthy. It appeared as if the tree had been forced into position by intense pressure. Some believe damage like this can result from storms, heavy snow, or long-term stress on the wood, but that explanation feels incomplete. This was the only tree in the area twisted so severely, while everything around it remained undisturbed. Others suggest it may have been done intentionally, pointing to theories involving large animals or even Bigfoot using twisted trees as markers. With no clear proof, the real cause remains unclear. Do you think nature alone could do this, or was something else involved? While hiking alone in the Courthouse Wash area of Arches National Park, a man stepped onto what seemed like solid ground, but it suddenly collapsed. One leg sank deep into wet sand that tightened as he struggled, and within minutes, he was trapped and unable to free himself. As temperatures fell and the sun began to set, the danger increased. Spending the night exposed in the desert cold was not an option, so he activated his GPS satellite messenger and sent an emergency SOS. Search and rescue teams responded quickly, using a drone to locate him. When rescuers arrived, the sand kept sliding back into the hole as they dug, making the rescue difficult. After nearly 2 hours, they freed him. He was cold and exhausted but unharmed. Park officials later warned that quicksand can form in desert washes after moisture builds up, and emphasized carrying emergency devices, because the ground is not always as stable as it appears. This incident shows how fast a simple hike can become dangerous in desert environments. Would you have expected quicksand to be a real risk in a place like this? A man was exploring an abandoned building in a wooded area when he suddenly heard loud screams coming from below. He tried to find the source with his phone camera but could not see anything that could have made the sounds. After he posted the clip online, reactions were mixed, with some suggesting a skinwalker and others questioning whether the audio had been added later. Unexplained sounds like this often leave room for doubt about what was real and what was edited. Do you think this recording captured something genuine, or was it altered afterward? A woman living near a wooded area stepped outside one night to photograph her yard, aiming the camera toward the tree line to show how far her outdoor lights reached. When she reviewed the image, she noticed a faint face that became even clearer after the photo was brightened. No one online has been able to explain it, not even as a camera glitch or optical illusion, leaving people to question whether something was really there or if the camera revealed something the eye could not see. Céline Crémet, a Belgian woman, was last seen on the 17th of June, 2023, in Waratah, Tasmania. She had planned a short walk at Philosopher Falls, but never returned the following day. Police later found her car at the trailhead, and despite large searches using helicopters, drones, and ground teams, no sign of Céline was found. Harsh winter conditions and rough terrain made survival very unlikely. The case stayed cold for over 2 years, until December 2025, when a privately organized search discovered a mobile phone confirmed to be hers. The phone was found in an area already searched, suggesting she may have left the marked trail, possibly using a phone app and becoming disoriented. Authorities have now joined the renewed search, as the phone provides the first real clue in years and a fragile hope for answers, leaving many to wonder how she went off course and whether this discovery will finally explain what happened. One afternoon, this person was out for a walk when they noticed an unusual sight in the sky. Several striking clouds stood out overhead, drawing attention as something didn't look quite normal. 2 disc-like shapes appeared within the clouds, facing opposite directions and tilted away from each other. Their unusual shape and color led many viewers to speculate about secret aircraft, or even an otherworldly presence. Experts, however, point to a natural explanation. Lenticular clouds can form when moist air flows over mountains, creating smooth, lens-shaped formations that often look unfamiliar or artificial at first glance, which explains why scenes like this can spark debate and leave people wondering how often natural clouds are mistaken for something unknown. This short video was shared online by a hiker who claims it may be the clearest Bigfoot footage so far. The clip shows a large, dark, hair-covered figure sitting calmly on a fallen tree in a dense forest, showing no reaction to the camera. Visible details include long arms, a broad chest, thick fur, and a face that appears partly human and partly primate. The video was reportedly filmed near the Little River in Alabama, a remote and heavily wooded area. Whether the figure is real or staged remains debated, leaving viewers to wonder what the camera truly captured. A hunter was using a trail camera in a forest during the fall season, when it unexpectedly recorded something unusual. The footage shows 2 dark, upright figures moving through the trees, with only their outlines visible as the camera remains fixed. Because of the poor clarity and lack of context, the footage does not confirm what the figures are. And with no follow-up information available, it leaves the question of what the camera actually captured. After spending a weekend in the woods, a group of friends stopped to take a final photo before leaving. They posed between the trees and, at the time, noticed nothing unusual. Later that night, while reviewing the image at home, they spotted an unexpected detail: a grayish figure with glowing eyes standing next to them. They were certain no one had been there, as it had only been the 2 friends and the photographer, raising the question of whether someone was hidden nearby or if the camera captured something else entirely. One morning, a couple was walking their dogs through a local forest known for strange stories. The woman's partner took a photo of her on the trail, and nothing seemed unusual at the time. Later, when they reviewed the image, they noticed something disturbing. A person was walking behind them, someone they had not seen before the photo was taken, coming from a direction that would have taken hours to walk. As the figure drew closer, her face was not visible and appeared covered by a black hood, moving in a slow and deliberate way. Feeling uneasy, they decided to leave, but when they turned back, the figure was gone. With open trails and a rocky drop nearby, they still do not know who or what they encountered, or how someone could disappear so quickly. What do you think they really saw that morning? This remarkable meteor crater is located in northern Arizona. It spans nearly 1 mile across and descends more than 500 feet deep. For many years, scientists believed it was formed by volcanic activity, but that view shifted in the 1960s when research confirmed the crater was created by an asteroid impact roughly 50,000 years ago. At the time of the impact, large prehistoric animals moved across the region. The collision released an estimated 10 megatons of energy, equal to more than 20 million tons of TNT. The blast instantly vaporized the asteroid, produced temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, and sent shockwaves powerful enough to flatten everything for miles. It became the first place on Earth where an impact from outer space was scientifically proven, leading researchers to better understand how sudden cosmic events can reshape the planet. Could a similar impact happen again, and would we recognize the warning signs in time? This woman was walking along a forest trail late at night when she noticed something unsettling in the distance. 4 figures dressed completely in white could be seen, each appearing to wear some type of mask. Unsure who or what was out there, she quickly took a photo and left the area. Since the footage was later uploaded, it is clear she made it out safely. But whoever or whatever those figures were remains unknown, leaving open the possibility that it was a planned encounter or something far more unusual, and raising the simple question of why they were there at all. While hiking in Ethiopia, this person visited a place that seems almost impossible. In 2005, the ground there suddenly tore open, forming a massive crack that stretches nearly 35 miles across the landscape and continues to widen. The rift is located in the Afar region, where 3 major tectonic plates meet: the Nubian, Somalian, and Arabian plates. Beneath the surface, these plates are slowly pulling apart. The Arabian plate is separating the fastest, at about 1 inch per year, while the 2 African plates move more gradually. Over millions of years, this process could eventually form an entirely new ocean. Scientists classify the rift as an early-stage mid-ocean ridge, the same geological process responsible for creating today's oceans, raising the idea that this landscape shows Earth in the middle of reshaping itself and prompting the question of how different the planet might look in the distant future. The owner of the photo explained that both of his grandparents had passed away, and their former home is now abandoned and in poor condition. Recently, his uncle set up a trail camera on the property. The camera was programmed to take 3 photos each time it detected movement. On one occasion, a human-like figure appeared in only one of the 3 images, while the other 2 showed nothing out of the ordinary. At the time, no one was known to be at the house. Later, the camera's position and settings were checked and confirmed to be working normally, leaving the question of what this pale figure could have been, and whether it was something explainable or something far more unsettling. While hiking in the woods, a Reddit user spotted something terrifying that, from a distance, looked like a real body. They moved closer, expecting the worst, only to realize it was a life-size Santa mannequin. Relieved, they took a photo to show how disturbing it looked in the middle of the forest, proving how easily objects can seem frightening out of place. Would you have thought it was real at first glance too? This image was recorded in Galveston, Texas, in a largely deserted marshy area on the West End, and later shared online by an individual. It is a raw infrared trail camera photo taken around 2016 by the poster's neighbor. The image was never made public, appearing only on a private Facebook account, which gave the poster confidence that it was genuine. For years, the poster and their high school friends kept the photo, unsure of what they were seeing. Even after sharing it online, no clear explanation emerged, leaving one simple question: what do you think the camera actually captured? A Facebook user and her boyfriend stepped outside around 2 a.m. to take night mode photos of the northern lights. While he was standing there, he heard movement and shuffling behind him and assumed it was a deer. He turned and took a photo in that direction. Later, when they reviewed the image, they noticed something far more unsettling. Instead of an animal, the photo appeared to show a strange, distorted figure, something the user said resembled a skinwalker. She was quick to explain that there was usually nothing on the trampoline that could have caused this, as she saw it daily and had never noticed anything that could explain the shape captured in the image. Whatever it was, neither of them could account for it, and the photo left them deeply shaken, raising the possibility that the image captured a moment they were never meant to notice, and leaving the question of what was really standing there that night. A woman once took a cheerful photo, smiling at the camera, and everything felt normal until the image was developed. Just above her head, a strange, human-like figure appeared with a distorted face, turning a happy moment unsettling. What would you think if you found something like this in your own photo? A woman was taking photos of the forest for an art project when she later noticed something unsettling. After zooming in, a tall humanoid shape could be seen standing between the trees. The figure appeared to be covered in dark clothing. She stated that no other people were anywhere nearby at the time. Whoever was present remains unknown, leading to speculation about whether the figure could have been part of some kind of ritual or simply a staged hoax, and leaving the question of what was really standing in the forest that day. A group of paranormal investigators set out to explore a remote area in South Africa that locals claimed was haunted. They spent the night using cameras and audio recorders, hoping to capture something unusual. Around midnight, their investigation took a strange turn. They saw what appeared to be a young girl, but her body looked faint and almost transparent. Shocked and unsure of what they were seeing, they quickly packed up and left. Was it real, or did the darkness play tricks on their eyes? Somewhere deep in the desert near South Las Vegas, someone came across a truly unsettling sight. In the middle of nowhere stood an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, completely alone. The surrounding area is mostly empty and is sometimes used for shooting practice. The animatronic appears damaged and heavily weathered, suggesting it had been left there for a long time. No confirmed details explain how or why it ended up in that location, but the scene gives off an undeniably creepy feeling, leaving people to wonder who left it there and for what reason. A man from British Columbia had recently bought a new phone with an infrared camera and began testing it by taking photos of his yard. And that was when one image caught his attention. In the photo, a strange figure appeared. Whatever was captured seemed humanoid and was moving on all fours, but the image quality made it difficult to clearly identify what it was. The photo was later shared online by a friend, but no further details were ever given, leaving the question of what the camera captured and what was in the yard that night unanswered. Photographer Martin Alvarez was exploring a lava tube cave in Chile to document unusual mineral and clay formations when he noticed something moving in the distance. He quickly raised his camera and took several photos. The figure appeared low to the ground, dog-like, and moving on all fours. It did not resemble any known animal native to the area. Unsettled by what he saw, Alvarez chose not to continue deeper into the cave and left the site. He later reported the sighting in a nearby village. According to Alvarez, local residents reacted with concern rather than surprise, pointing to old legends tied to caves in the Patagonia region, and stories of strange creatures said to live underground. What Alvarez encountered has never been officially explained, leaving people to wonder whether it was an unknown animal or something rooted in local folklore. These photos were taken by Arkady Tishkov, who estimated the figure shown to be about 1.4 meters tall, or roughly 4 feet 7 inches. Along with the original images, a second set of interpretive illustrations was later released based on the same material. The images quickly sparked debate, with some viewers saying the shape was simply a natural rock formation, while others linked it to older ideas like the so-called horned yeti. With no physical evidence ever confirmed, the photos remain unverified, leaving one question: what do you think the images actually show? A trail camera deep in the Missouri woods captured a strange image showing a hazy shape floating just above the ground. Some believe it was only a moth caught in motion, while others think it was something more. The camera was set on a small rock burial mound known for eerie stories, and the image still leaves people wondering what the camera really captured. This footage shows a hunter handling a captured baby moose, unprepared for what happened once the restraints were removed.
In her now. Come on, little girl. Hey! Oh, you're a mean little girl.
The animal reacted suddenly, catching him off guard. Fortunately, no serious injury occurred. Viewers later warned that removing the blindfold too soon was a mistake, and if this had been a full-grown moose, the outcome could have been much worse, leaving the question of how close this encounter came to turning deadly. In the winter of 2017, a Reddit user shared a photo of his younger sister from a winter camping trip when they were the only ones outside. Later, they noticed two faint figures in the image. One figure looked almost identical to his sister, suggesting a camera glitch, but the second figure did not resemble anyone present. The user believes it was probably a glitch, yet still has no explanation for that second shape, leaving the question of what the photo really captured. In 1967, a man named Harry Dack took a simple photograph in the backyard of his home in Carlton Howe. The image showed his grandson Neil smiling at the camera while holding the family Jack Russell, Kelly. At the time, nothing seemed unusual about the moment the photo was taken. When the film was developed, however, a faint gray, translucent figure appearing to be a woman was visible beside the child. Photo lab staff confirmed the negative had not been altered, and with no editing tools available then, they could offer no explanation. The identity of the so-called Gray Lady was never discovered, leaving the question of who, or what, appeared in the photo. A cave explorer shared unsettling footage from inside an unexplored cave system. As he moved through the tunnels, an unfamiliar sound suddenly appeared.
Hello?
Oh my god. Fuck. I gotta go.
It did not match common cave noises, and no source could be seen on camera. The explorer believed it was not caused by wildlife and described it as humanoid, but not human. As the sound grew louder and seemed to move closer, the footage ended abruptly. Some believe the noise has a natural explanation, while others think something unknown may be living deep inside the cave. What do you think was making the sound? Earlier this year, on January 19th, experienced mountaineer Thomas Plamberger was guiding his girlfriend, Kirsten Gertner, up Austria's highest mountain, Grossglockner. At around 8:50 p.m., roughly 150 feet from the summit, the pair became stranded in extreme winter conditions. Despite being the lead climber, no immediate emergency call was made at that moment. Thomas and Kirsten remained near the summit for several hours as conditions continued to deteriorate. By around 2 a.m., Kirsten was severely exhausted, hypothermic, and disoriented. At that point, Thomas decided to leave her behind and descend the mountain alone to seek help. Authorities later stated that Thomas had placed an emergency call earlier, around 1:35 a.m., approximately 30 minutes before leaving her. However, it was reported that he did not cover Kirsten with emergency blankets and that he placed his phone on silent shortly afterward. After continuing his descent, Thomas made another emergency call at around 3:30 a.m. By then, it was likely too late. Kirsten froze to death near the summit while alone. Thomas is now facing negligent homicide charges. His lawyer maintains that he is innocent, describing the incident as a tragic accident under impossible conditions. However, many people believe that someone with his level of experience would not have handled the situation this way, raising questions about his decisions. What do you think really happened on that mountain? A man was surprised when he checked footage from his trail camera and saw a pale figure moving through tall grass. The image was captured inside a privately fenced area where no one should have been. That detail only added to the mystery. To this day, he has never figured out what the camera recorded that night. Some think it was a visual illusion, while others find its presence there hard to explain. What do you think it was? Reddit user O.G. Cheddar Goblin shared a trail camera photo sent by a friend, taken by the friend's uncle's camera. The image shows a deer standing still, with a human-shaped figure directly behind it. The figure could be someone in a hoodie, but what makes it unsettling is how close it appears to the deer. Normally, a deer would react to something that near. The deer appeared in multiple images, but the figure showed up only once. Some think it was just a person, while others find the deer's lack of reaction strange. What do you think was behind it? A group of people were walking through the Arabian desert, an area that felt empty and completely silent. As they moved forward, they suddenly noticed something unusual ahead of them.
هذا ابو فانوس قاعد الحين الصبح عاد هيبي يلعب علينا. نحن بك ما لعبت علينا بالليل بتلعب علينا صبح. كان هدرنا الحين نصور هذا كذا اقبل علينا مدبر ذا الحين عليهم موتر مدبر. هذا الحين اعطانا جهه. يلا بنجيك الحين جايين. يا مسخره. مسكين يا عوينه. خبل انك الحين خبلان نلحق لا تكبس ولا شيء. يا بس الله ما كان يبي يقرب منا أبي دير الحين بيعطينا مقفاه.
In the distance, a bright light appeared, standing out sharply against the dark, open landscape. The group stopped where they were and watched, unable to determine where the light was coming from or what could be producing it. After a short period of time, the light began to dim, slowly fading until it disappeared entirely. No clear explanation was ever found for what they witnessed that day. It may have been something natural, or it could have been caused by human activity far away. What do you think that light really was? In late autumn, Catman Outdoors and his friend Ryan were checking public hunting land when what was meant to be a normal evening hunt turned into an unsettling confrontation that ended up on camera. Ryan had trail camera images showing two large 9-point bucks frequenting this small section of public land. The plan was straightforward. Move in quietly before sunset, locate a deer crossing, and set up to wait. Ryan would take the shot while his partner recorded the hunt. They advanced slowly through the forest, tracking a group of red oaks toward the roadway where they believed the deer were passing. Several fresh sets of deer tracks confirmed they were in the right area, all following the creek bed. But as they started choosing a tree to climb, they noticed something that instantly made them uneasy.
Whatever you want to call it.
We can call the game warden out here if you want to.
I don't care.
This is hunter harassment. We came in here to hunt. It's legal to hunt in here.
I walk in here all the time.
Yeah, but you came up here straight to us and confronted us.
Well, I was walking down through here and not seeing y'all moving.
Moved what? Moving what? Walking?
Huh?
You saw us walking?
Yeah, I seen your head over the creek bank there.
And why'd you come looking for us?
I didn't come looking for you. I was just back here walking.
Well, that's hunter harassment.
No, it's not.
Tell us we better not be shooting your deer.
I'm making a comment. I like my deer.
So what? They're wild animals.
Oh, they just crossed, by the way.
They probably did. You probably ran them all out of here.
No, they ran back over the other creek while I was in the other creek.
All right, well, they'll be back.
Yeah, sooner or later.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna kill them all.
Well, that'd be hard to do.
Yep.
Yeah. You're on camera. This is hunter harassment. You need to get out of here or the game warden's going to be here in 20 minutes.
You've come back here twice now.
Get out of here. Bullshit. Get out of here. I'm calling the game warden. Which house is it in? That's a misdemeanor, right? Alright, this is one.
They started picking up trash just a minute ago. It's probably going to be his excuse. He's supposed to call Ryan whenever he's available, but these people don't care. They live on the other side of the woods. Okay, he's walking back up the hill. Kind of zigzagging. I don't know if he's going anywhere or if he's just wandering around again. He's just out of sight up the hill.
On public land where hunting is completely legal, These hunters were gradually intimidated and pushed out by someone who seemed to believe the wildlife belonged to him, simply because his property bordered the area. The most troubling part is that this likely was not the first time he had acted this way, and it probably would not be the last. Looking at the situation, it appears to be a clear case of intimidation rather than a misunderstanding. Do you think incidents like this happen more often on public land than people realize? In November 2014, park staff at Great Basin National Park in Nevada found an old rifle leaning against a tree. It was identified as a Winchester Model 1873, made in 1882. Despite heavy rust, the serial number was still readable, and the wooden stock had turned gray from years of exposure. No one knows who left the rifle or why. There were no human remains, no campsite, and no signs explaining its presence. Experts later found one spent cartridge inside the stock, but none in the barrel. The park preserved the rifle as it was and put it on display, leaving its story a lasting mystery. On August 14, 2004, Lindsay Kochow, 22, and Jason Allen, 26, were traveling along the California coast near Jenner, California. The young couple was visiting from the Midwest and had been working together at a Christian summer camp. They were deeply religious, engaged, and only weeks away from getting married. That evening, after spending time exploring the area, they tried to find a motel for the night. When no rooms were available, they made a decision that would later prove fatal. They chose to sleep on Fish Head Beach, placing their sleeping bags directly on the sand beneath the open sky. Unbeknownst to them, a man named Sean Michael Gallen was driving along Highway 1 that same night. Gallen was suffering from severe mental illness and experiencing psychotic delusions. As he passed the beach, he noticed the couple sleeping in the open. Instead of driving on, he stopped his car, retrieved a firearm, walked down to the beach, and shot both Lindsay and Jason at close range while they slept. He then fled, leaving their bodies behind. For 4 days, the couple remained undiscovered. On August 18th, a sheriff's helicopter flying along the coastline spotted their bodies, still inside their sleeping bags. The discovery shocked the community and devastated both families. For years, the case remained unsolved despite evidence collected at the scene. The murders became one of Northern California's most haunting cold cases. More than a decade later, advances in DNA technology led to a breakthrough. In 2017, Sean Gallen was arrested and charged. Investigators determined he had been living with untreated schizophrenia at the time. In 2019, he was convicted and sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms without parole. Some believe this tragedy highlights how untreated mental illness can lead to unimaginable harm, while others focus on the heartbreaking consequences of a simple choice made in trust. Do you think this crime could have been prevented, or was it truly unpredictable? A Reddit user came across a spiral notebook lying alone in the middle of a desert. Inside were ordinary college notes, but the final page immediately stood out. It contained a heartfelt message expressing appreciation and love, thanking someone for being an important part of the writer's college life and memories. The message went on to say it was meant to share information about passwords, electronic devices, and people to contact. Beneath it was a list of names, along with references to accounts and devices. There was also a short section written in a noticeably different tone, listing 3 individuals connected to an incident, with brief descriptions of their roles. Many people who saw the post believed the notebook could be a farewell message and urged the finder to contact authorities. In a follow-up update, the Reddit user explained that police took the notebook as evidence. Later, one of the listed contacts confirmed that the notebook's owner was alive and safe. In the end, it turned out to be nothing serious, but notifying authorities was still the right decision. What if it hadn't been? A Facebook user was hiking near an abandoned church ruin built in 1067, a site long rumored to be haunted. After taking several photos and leaving the area, they later noticed something strange in one image. A figure in what looked like a white dress appeared to be standing there, despite no one else being present at the time. The user said the photo was only zoomed and brightened, not altered, and believes it may show a ghost. Some think it could be light or shadow, while others disagree. What do you think it really was? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, Don't miss what's coming next.
Oh. No way. Okay, well, it's time to drive the hell out of here. Oh. Cool.
I've died 5 times in my life. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been hanged 3 times. Each time they hang me.
Yeah, they're looking right at me.
Every snap of a twig could be a warning. Tonight, witness a terrifying scream cutting through the river mist and a camper forced to pull a knife on an intruder. Deep in the forest, strange lights linger in the darkness, refusing to move. Is there anywhere left in the wild that is truly safe? The video was uploaded by Wild Bear on November 8, 2023. It was filmed in a dark forest in the UK. She arrived in mid-October, planning to spend a quiet night beneath a tarp. The surroundings were filled with soft forest rain sounds, and the evening began peacefully. At first, everything felt normal. Then, the atmosphere in the woods slowly began to shift.
Oh, hello, wild ones. I'm here in the forest on this beautiful autumn day in mid-October. Got my tarp today, and I'm going to try to make a cozy little home using this tree and these rocks. That's a 3 meter by 2.9 meter tarp and various fixtures and cordage. Bring it down around these rocks. And the rocks, of course, are going to be a brilliant natural shelter as well. So I think this is going to be really cozy, if I can pull it off. Yeah, I think that'll work. That covers the little bed area perfectly. Oh my god, I love that. Okay, let's secure it down a bit more and then we'll move in. I've got a ground sheet. This is my DD Magic Carpet. I think it's the XL. So I'm going to pop that down here, give us somewhere to sit.
She turned off her own light. Almost immediately, she noticed several lights deeper in the forest. They appeared to move through the trees but did not change position afterward. She was unsure whether someone was camping nearby or simply standing still in the darkness.
I just turned my lights off because I saw lights over there going up through the woods, so I'm hiding. There's multiple lights, and they seem to be staying in the same area, so I don't know if they're camping over there maybe. There's not a lot that scares me out here.
The lights remained fixed, unmoving, giving the impression that they were watching. She later admitted that the only thing that truly frightens her while camping is encountering other people. The forest suddenly felt unnaturally quiet and uncomfortably close.
In the woods, except other humans. I've watched too much true crime. I think I've decided to pack up and go. I feel really on edge and I'm quite spooked.
She tried to remain calm, but the tension kept rising. It became clear to her that staying there was no longer an option.
I think I've decided to pack up and go. I feel really on edge and I'm quite spooked. But I don't know how to pack up in the dark. I know you can't see anything, but I'm packing up, so I'm just going to leave this running.
She packed up her gear in complete darkness, her hands unsteady as she worked carefully to avoid making noise. She explained that the feeling was deeply unsettling. The forest no longer felt right.
That's a shame, because that would have been a really nice camp, but enjoyed what I did of it. Oh my god, look at these stars above. Let's stop here and take a picture. So beautiful. There's another light up ahead, but there's no way I'm getting out of here without at least my red light on. It is what it is. Nearly back down now. Trying to work out the way in the dark. Not easy. There's Landy. Hi, Landy.
While walking back, another light appeared farther down the path. A single glow stood ahead, partially blocking her route and making the surrounding forest appear even darker. She continued forward despite the fear, knowing she needed to reach her vehicle.
It's all a bit silly really, because those people in the woods, they probably saw my light switching up and wondered, who's that weirdo alone in the woods at night? So I'm not travelling too far from my car, and I guess I'm more likely to run into other people than I kind of take it for granted that once the sun goes down, I'm by myself, and that's how I like it. Oh.
One possible explanation is that these lights came from other campers or people moving through the forest at night, but their stillness made the situation feel threatening. Being alone in the dark can make even ordinary things feel much scarier. If you were in the same situation and saw lights watching from the woods, would you stay or leave immediately? Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. This case was uploaded on August 18, 2025. The footage comes from a man associated with the Exploring with Bear channel, who set out to camp alone inside a forest widely believed to be haunted. From the very beginning, he made it clear that he felt deeply uncomfortable being there.
Bigfoot, my boy, Dogman, and skinwalkers, or the crawlers, whatever those things are that like the caves. There's some caves right behind me here. There has been many lives lost right at this location right here, themselves or other people doing something bad to somebody else. There was another story from another person that said 2 guys was found naked walking down this railroad tracks right here. They said they was being held for days in the woods right behind me here. Originally, Dee and David was supposed to be with me tonight, but Dee got sick and I'm all by myself, so I will be here by myself tonight. So here in a minute, we'll go ahead and get our fire started and sit here and just soak it in. I'm right in front of this cave entrance here, and I just want to sit here for a bit.
Shortly after arriving, he heard a heavy thump in the distance and sensed that someone, or something, was nearby. He started a fire and focused on listening.
There's just a thump up there. Oh. Oh. No way. No way. No frickin' way. No frickin' way. No frickin'.
After additional unexplained sounds, he struck rocks together to test for a response. Moments later, a clear and deliberate sound came back from the darkness.
Okay, so there's a lot of rocks around here. I say we get in a couple rock clanks now and just listen for a bit. I've heard a couple thumps now. Yeah, rock clanks. That was an answer. That was a deluxe answer. Oh my goodness. That was just right over here. Hello? That could have been back here too. Like right in here. Oh my goodness.
As night fell, fear set in. He heard movement nearby, followed by footsteps so close they caused an immediate physical reaction.
Ooh. What's that? Wow, man, something just was stepping right there, but there's nothing there. Oh, I got the chills. That scared the living crap out of me. You guys had to hear that. I don't feel good about tonight. I'm not feeling good about this at all right now. Whoop. Look, there.
The sense of being watched became overwhelming. Soon after, an unusual humming sound and an alarm startled him. What followed was far worse. A deep animal-like growl from the darkness, accompanied by a sound resembling a human voice.
Oh. No way. No way. No frickin' 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 Goodness gracious. I don't think there was a person in there. There was a growl, and then it said, let's get him. I heard, let's get him. I want to have to go back and check that.
Panic took over. He knew he could not stay any longer. He fled to his truck and was too frightened to step back outside.
But I'm pretty sure you're going to hear everything I heard. And that was a growl, and then right after the growl, let's get him. No way am I staying here. I'm not even getting back out of the truck. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you guys heard that. There's no freaking way. There could be people tucked back around that other corner. And one of them said, let's...
The idea that something unseen knew he was there and may have been coordinating against him became a fear that stayed with him long after he left. Fear and isolation can make even normal noises feel dangerous. If you heard clear responses coming from the forest at night, would you trust your instincts and leave, or stay to find out what was there? Uploaded on August 14th, 2024, the footage comes from Camping with Angelo, showing a solo camping trip near a river in Wawa, Ontario. The location was remote and far from town, surrounded by trees, sand, and flowing water. Local residents described the land as old and sacred, with a long history tied to the area.
It is now day 2. We are out here in Wawa, Ontario. Now, Wawa is kind of out there. Kind of in the middle of nowhere between cities. I think approximately 3,000 people, a lot of native people that lived on this land. And there's a section of this town that I've never visited before. It is closer to the river. Now I'm basically heading down this random dirt road. I have no idea what the hell is down here. There was a sign back there that said, use at your own risk. I don't even know. Something about not for general people use. I have no idea. I got no clue.
Not long after arriving, unusual sounds began to emerge. They did not resemble normal forest noises. Slow, deliberate knocking sounds echoed from the dark tree line.
I keep hearing something down there. And it's weird because it's not like normal wood noises or forest noises. Can you tell me anything else about your visions? Sorry if I'm moving, guys. Helen. That is really weird. We keep getting the name Helen a lot.
I like the toys.
Oh man, my car's like all scratched up. I like the toys. What toys are you referring to?
At one point, something struck his vehicle with force. He froze, but no animal was visible. Immediately afterward, the forest went silent, as if everything around him had stopped moving.
What the f was that? Something literally just hit the car. What in the... What was that? Okay, tell me there's like an animal or something. There is nothing. Nothing at all. What the... Where's my flashlight? Okay, what in God's name was that? I don't see anything.
Later, while setting up his tent, he heard movement drawing closer. Footsteps pressed into the sand, followed by a clear coughing sound coming from near the river. It sounded human, but no one appeared.
Kind of like setting up the tripod here, and I keep hearing something like, as if it's over here, coming closer and closer to me. Like, right there. What the hell was that? I don't know what that is. Okay, whatever it is now, sounds like it's down there. What the hell? I can't quite tell if it's like an animal or something else. I don't even know. Whatever it is back there. Yeah, you know what? Let's not get too close. Let's not f with it right now. Let's just, Hello? It sounded like it was from up the river. What the... Close my... So we don't get a billion bugs in there. Dude, that literally sounded like it was from down there. There's no way. I mean, it literally just goes up the river. I mean, I can go look, but... There's no one else here. Hello? That was a bird, I think. Maybe a bat. I'm not quite...
Soon after, a sharp, high-pitched sound came through his recording equipment. The noise was intense and uncomfortable. Almost immediately, his batteries began to drain without explanation, and the temperature dropped noticeably despite it being August.
I don't know if you guys could hear that on the camera, but that sounded like a really... There it is again. What is that? It's like a high-pitched frequency noise. Is it the aliens? What the f... I've never heard that come through like that before. That was really weird. Can you tell me what that high-pitched frequency is? And it is getting freaking cold out here. Holy crap. It's amazing too because it's August. Someone was talking with me through this. Can you do it again? Whoa.
The coughing returned from the same location. He stood still, listening. No animals moved and no lights appeared. The sound came from the exact same direction again.
It came from the exact same direction. What is that? Somebody out there? Like, could there possibly be... No, how would there be, like, somebody over there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure bears don't cough. What the hell? Alright, somebody's out there. Show yourself. Heard something over there. I will go over there momentarily. I just want to finish up here first. Okay, let's do some necrophonic first, and then we'll go down there. Okay. Let's try this, you know?
As he moved toward the river, he thought he saw movement near the cliff. For a brief moment, it appeared as if something reflected light back at him, like eyes. His flashlight began to lose power.
Gonna go down there. So we keep hearing what sounds like something coughing down there. I swear it sounds like a human, quite literally coughing. I thought I saw something down there too. Haven't really seen any wildlife though, which is surprising. It is probably because we're really close to the highway. But unfortunately, this was quite literally the only accessible part closest to the river. Let's see if we can see anything that might resemble something that's like coughing or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know, I don't see anything. Even my flashlight battery is starting to die now. Yeah, just switch hands here for a second. This camera's quite heavy, so it gets tiring holding it. I don't see anything. There's the car. What's down there? There was again. Shit, my battery is dying on this flashlight. Damn it. Should have grabbed my other one. There's something moving over there. Something out there? For a second I thought I saw something over there. Oh, I actually did see something move over there. What the hell was that? Wait, is there something there? I think this might actually be like one of the scariest camping trips I've ever done so far. Just being out here alone. I literally even just spoke with Jazz and he's like, I don't even know how the hell you do this.
More movement followed in the distance. He briefly saw something shift again but could not identify what it was. Being alone amplified the tension of the situation. Suddenly, a scream cut through the trees. It was short and sharp, neither close nor far. That moment pushed him to leave the campsite and drive away in the darkness. He made it back safely.
Again. What the? Let's see if we hear it again. So I was just about to get ready to go. So that way I'll have enough time to film the other stuff. And also edit a video for you guys, but where'd that come from? Okay, well, it's time to drive the hell out of here. Just try not to get stuck. Oh yeah, Subi power, woo!
But the sound stayed with him long after he left. Whatever had been near the river never showed itself, and not knowing what caused the noises made the experience even more unsettling. It's possible the sounds came from animals or the environment, but in the dark, without clear sight, the brain can fill in the gaps and turn small details into something much scarier. If you were alone and heard those sounds near the water at night, would you trust what you heard or trust your instinct to get out? The video went live on August 6th, 2025. It documents a solo camping attempt by Kevin, the creator behind the YouTube channel Small Plots, who set out for an overnight stay on the outskirts of Rochester. He selected a hidden location near an abandoned railroad line, close to a lumber yard. What initially looked like a discreet spot for a stealth camp quickly proved to be a poor choice.
I'm here at the edge of the city. It's a hazy summer day. I'm getting into kind of like a sketchy industrial area here. Just typical sketchy industrial area, nothing special. But there's a nice bit of woods. Now down the trail, there's a lumber yard, I believe it is, that I'm going to be camping next to in a little bit of wood.
After arriving at the park, he began to feel uneasy. The area was strangely busy, with people scattered throughout. As he waited for the park to empty, he noticed something unusual. Men were repeatedly moving in and out of the woods, walking back and forth without any clear purpose.
It's kind of to the industrial area. But first I gotta wait for this guy to leave. So I'm gonna kind of like explore the park a little bit. I've been to this park a handful of times in my life, and I've only ever seen like maybe one other person here, maybe a couple other people. This is every parking cars have left, but I'm not even kidding you, there's just like dudes stumbling out of the woods. It's like, that's like the third dude I've seen stumble out of the woods. The first dude is now going back. I think that's the first guy I saw. And he walked back here, waited, he's looking around sketchily, and now that guy is going back in the woods. I feel like there's like some pervert stuff getting in my way right now. I don't know what, I'm not grasping exactly what would be going on to where dudes are like switching places in a forest like that. I don't know how much longer I can sit here. I might have to find a new spot tonight.
He watched one man leave the trees and then return. Soon after, another man did the same. He could not make sense of it. The behavior felt secretive, as if they were switching places or hiding something. Eventually, he decided to move into the woods and set up camp.
So the last guy is in his car, but he's just hanging out. I think I'm gonna take this opportunity just in case he does get out, go back in the woods. I'm gonna just run and go where I need to go. He won't see me. He won't know that I'm about to walk down that little train track there. But I'm gonna make this fast. This is gonna be weird. Let's go.
He had to act fast, crawling beneath vines and forcing his way through thick brush. He knew the risk he was taking and worried the men nearby might have heard him and figured out where he was heading.
Find where I'm going, and then I'll go there. That guy is still there. I can see his, I don't know if the camera's picking up on his red truck. And I saw him walking back towards this area, like through the trees. I don't know if I'm sure he heard me. That was so loud. Whatever. Hopefully he's less sketchy than I am.
Later, as darkness began to fall, he sat quietly at his campsite when he heard movement along the trail. A dog barked, followed by sounds that suggested a person nearby. He stayed completely still, concealed within the bushes.
I think there's somebody on the trail, so I'm gonna wait a minute. I heard a kid or a dog or something. And hopefully I won't have to do that again until the morning. That's a pain in the butt getting through that. Eesh.
Just before night fully settled in, he noticed a silhouette standing on the trail and facing toward him. He realized he had been spotted. The figure and their dog were outlined against the fading light, and he knew his own shape was visible as well. He felt exposed and afraid, but after a moment, the person turned and walked away.
Somebody's looking at me right now. looking right at me. Their dog barked. We can't see him on the camera. But I can see him with my eyes. We're looking at each other. I'm just gonna slowly go down. Somebody, they barked. Walked over there. I guess they have a dog. And we definitely saw each other. At least I saw him. I assume he saw me. Doesn't sound like he's coming this way. But I was definitely seen. Okay, I think I'm good. Whoever saw me probably just, wanted to steer clear of the guy in the woods. I saw his silhouette looking at me. I'm sure he saw mine looking at him. I'm kind of in the only somewhat illuminated area in this little bit of forest.
Even then, the night was not over. Without warning, a woodchuck suddenly ran toward him. The unexpected movement startled him badly, despite the animal being small. It was a strange and unsettling way to end a night filled with tension and uncomfortable encounters.
A little baby woodchuck started running at me, ran under my chair, and then up and into a hole over there. Oh man, that guy was not expecting me to be here. I've never had that happen. You ever have an animal just run at you randomly in the night, even if it's a little woodchuck? That was startling. Well, hopefully those people are actually gone, because if they're not, I definitely just gave myself away going, "Bah!" like Hank Hill style.
He made it through the camp safely, but the feeling of being watched stayed with him long after. If you were camping and saw people acting strangely nearby after dark, would you stay quiet and hope they leave, or pack up and get out right away? This story involves Todd Champion, the creator of the YouTube channel Camping with Champion, where he documents stealth camping in unusual locations. Most of his trips end without incident, but in a video uploaded on August 30th, 2025, he shared an encounter that was far more unsettling than anything he had experienced before.
Back in my spot, oh my gosh, thought I saw someone. That same guy that I saw earlier when I went to check the dumpsters was back again. I was just trying to get some cool shots, and he just popped up out of nowhere. And then he started asking me he's like, "Do you need me to help you film?" or something like that. Did I want him to hold the camera or something? I was like, "No, I'm good." Then he was like, "Where are you camping at?" And I was just like, just down the road. I shouldn't even have said that much, but. And then he asked me if I wanted someone else to camp with you. What? What the crap? That was nuts.
Earlier in the outing, Todd checked the area around his campsite to make sure he was alone. Although he believed the location was clear, that assumption turned out to be wrong. At first, he didn't view it as a serious problem and continued settling in for the night, preparing food and trying to relax. However, the situation gradually began to change.
That guy's back. You hungry?
No.
I got a sandwich here.
I was just walking around until daylight.
Really?
The same man Todd had noticed earlier returned to the hidden campsite. This time, the encounter felt more disturbing. The man behaved unpredictably and spoke at length in a way that felt unfocused and erratic, making the situation increasingly uncomfortable.
Died 5 times in my life. Shot, I've been stabbed, I've been hanged 3 times. Each time they hang me to I'm about dead and I have to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me walk down this way.
Got any kids or anything?
I got 4 kids.
How old?
Twin boys, 13, 2 girls, 16 and 15. Don't miss little things in life. I'm just still growing up, man. Yeah. I miss mine.
I used to be a truck driver and I quit because my kids were little. Trying to do this, maybe I can do something better,
Someone with you to help you do it?
My wife. Before I met my wife, dude, I was bad. And I probably wouldn't still be around if I hadn't met my wife. Good meeting you, brother. Mm-hmm. See ya. So he just left. I'm packing up my stuff and I'm getting out of here.
Sensing that something wasn't right, Todd quietly took out a knife and kept it hidden, ready in case the encounter escalated. After some time, the man eventually walked away. Todd immediately began packing up his gear, planning to leave as soon as possible. While Todd was preparing to leave, the man briefly reappeared, causing the tension to spike once more.
He came back again while I was packing up. Just showed me some little fan, rechargeable fan thing he had, but I can see him walking down the highway now. I'm getting out of here. We'll talk more once I get somewhere I feel safe.
Shortly after, Todd left the area entirely and headed somewhere he felt safe. The encounter ended without physical harm. However, the following day, Todd searched for information about the man online, and what he found raised further concern.
I was actually able to look the guy up, and I found some drug charges from last month where he was arrested. So I'm thinking he probably had just gotten out of jail and was wandering around. He may not be completely homeless. I would like to say that the guy, he seemed okay when I was talking to him. There were some times when he seemed pretty normal, pretty okay. And then there was other times where he was saying some weird stuff. So that's really why I left. Another thing is that he told me he was an Iraqi war veteran. I thanked him for his service, offered him to make sure he had food and something to drink. But he told me he had PTSD, and then sometimes he didn't know what he was doing, like he would lose control, thinking he was in war. He said he'd been banned from Walmart for having episodes in there. Like, I really didn't want to be out there with him if he goes into one of these episodes. I have no idea if any of that was true or not. I really didn't want to take a chance of being out there and he have an episode. I'm the only person out there at night that he knows of, so.
The situation showed how quickly a normal night can turn dangerous, and trusting his instincts may have prevented something much worse. It's possible the man was dealing with personal issues that made his behavior unstable, which turned an ordinary encounter into a risky one. When you're alone outdoors, even small warning signs matter. If someone you didn't know kept coming back to your campsite after dark, would you stay and hope nothing happens, or leave to stay safe? On September 5th, 2024, a video uploaded to Moxley's Paranormal World followed an overnight camping trip in Delamere Forest, one of the most haunted forests in the UK. The channel is known for exploring locations tied to paranormal activity and dark local history. Delamere Forest has long been associated with reports of shadow figures, a werewolf-like creature, and a white lady said to roam the trees. The area also carries a grim past, including a 1971 case in which 3 hikers were killed.
So tonight, I'm heading out to Delamere Forest. We've got to do an overnight haunted camp here. This place has got a lot of history to it.
He arrived late at night with his friend Ming, close to 11 p.m., when the forest was completely dark. Finding a level area to pitch their tents proved difficult. As they moved through the woods, an uneasy feeling lingered, making the environment feel tense and unfamiliar.
Right, so this is where we're walking down here. We're trying to stick to the water edge, but just look how dark it is. Turn that one off. That's how dark it is now. We've got to try and set up tent in the pitch darkness. So it has just gone 11 o'clock at night now. So without a light, but we should be okay. As soon as we find a bit of flat land, get the tents up. But it is spooky out here, just walking around. We're just walking around and it's like, it has got a feeling.
After the tents were finally set up, strange sounds began to emerge. He heard movement passing through the trees and scratching noises coming from Ming's tent, even though there were no branches nearby that could explain it. As the night continued, the unexplained noises persisted.
Well, Ming's in his tent, but Ming,
yeah,
whilst you were building,
yeah,
can you hear those noises going through the trees and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, granted, it could be birds, it's animals, but out here in the open. With the stories that we've been reading, of shadow figures moving throughout the trees, the lady in white, and don't forget the dog-like creature, dogman, something like that, so.
Oh, yeah,
a werewolf. There's a lot of rumours to that, so.
Well, let's hope there's something.
Let's see if we can capture anything like that tonight.
Mate, I'm hearing scratching, and I'm not kidding you.
On your tent?
It's like right behind me.
See, I was getting like a across the top of my tent.
I mean, it could have been anything.
Well, let's go and have a look.
There it is again.
Mate, I'm literally stood here.
There it is again.
There's nothing on your tent.
Nothing at all?
Nothing on your tent. There's nothing even around the back of your
Marks
tent.
is actually going round the tent now, outside, because I can hear that scratching that's going on now.
There's nothing here.
The sounds seemed to travel through the forest, growing more unsettling as the hours passed. Later, both he and Ming heard what sounded like footsteps pushing through brambles behind them. Soon after, they heard the clear sound of a woman crying.
Right, so me and Ming, he sat in his tent, I'm sat in mine. We heard there was brambles breaking, I was walking. I don't know, but it's been going on all night, that. It'll go dead silent, then it'll pick up.
Yeah.
But please, you heard that, like somebody was walking through this.
I did.
And then...
Let me get my torch. Right, folks.
I don't know. Right, should we go and have a look? But that come from behind us over there.
Yeah. It was definitely behind us.
Yeah, good idea.
Right.
On a serious note, did that sound like somebody crying?
It did to me. It sounded like somebody crying to me. Oh, come.
The noise was loud and close, as if someone was standing nearby, yet when they looked, nothing was there. The crying felt real and deeply disturbing, leaving him shaken.
As it shook me up. Yeah, it's really shook me up. If I was out here on my own, would I be here now? No. I'd have just left. I'd have just grabbed my bag and gone. What?
After Ming fell asleep, the strange activity continued. Unable to ignore it, he chose to step out alone to investigate further and attempt communication. He walked deeper into the forest, moving toward the road. While alone, a strange voice came through his device, repeating disturbing words and phrases.
Really is just an eerie feeling to it. I don't want to wake him up to say that I'm going off and doing all of it, but I won't go too far. I just want to go up to the road. Any shadow figures? If you want to come and speak to me. There's been a lot of reports of something being out here, something haunting this forest. I've seen shadow figures running between the trees. Others have even seen what they say is the white lady floating between the trees. Out here tonight, I heard a lady crying. If that was you at all.
Movement.
Movement. Yes, I heard movement. Was it you that heard? I really do not know if this is a wise idea. And that's why we've come out here to do an overnight haunted camp. To see if we can pick anything up.
Michael.
Michael. What I heard earlier.
1940s.
1940s.
He felt a heavy negative presence surrounding him. The experience was so intense that he later said if he had been alone when he heard the footsteps and the crying, he would have run away, leaving everything behind.
100% nobody come down. Well, we did hear something, but we'd have seen a torchlight, we'd have seen someone, but there's absolutely nobody there. Maybe this place truly is haunted. By who or what? White lady? The shadow figures that have been seen? Darting through.
No clear explanation was found. No lights appeared, and no other people were seen, despite the sounds being unmistakable. The forest remained empty. The experience made them question whether the legends of Delamere Forest were real, as the sounds they heard closely matched stories of shadow figures and the White Lady. It's possible that darkness, unfamiliar noises, and fear caused ordinary sounds to feel threatening, but hearing footsteps and crying with no one in sight is hard to ignore. If that happened to you deep in the forest at night, would you stay to investigate or leave right away? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next. In remote locations, the line between a routine trip and a life-threatening encounter is thinner than you think. From a hunter discovering a disoriented naked man in a creek, to campers hearing a violent, unexplained noise rip through the dark. If you found yourself in a situation that didn't make sense, would you know when it's time to get out? This brief clip was shared on TikTok by a user known as Road31990. An Italian traveler who documents his solo cycling trips across some of the most remote and visually striking regions in the world. His content is typically quiet, reflective, and centered on solitude and landscape. But this video stands out for a very different reason. Very little context was provided with the upload, yet the footage largely explains itself. What is known is that he was traveling alone, camping overnight in the middle of a vast desert, surrounded by towering sand dunes. There were no nearby towns, no visible roads, and no signs of civilization anywhere in the area. At around 3 in the morning, he was suddenly awakened by noises coming from just outside his tent. Rather than calling out or stepping into the darkness, he chose what felt safest in that moment and began recording. Whatever was outside appeared to move slowly and deliberately, lingering just beyond the thin layer of fabric separating him from the night. There was no voice and no explanation, only the unsettling realization that he was no longer alone. No follow-up was ever posted. There was no clarification about what caused the disturbance or how the situation ended. The only indication of an outcome is that the clip was eventually shared online, suggesting he made it out without serious harm. Even so, the lack of closure leaves the moment unresolved. Whether the presence belonged to another traveler, someone with unclear intentions, or something he chose not to explain, the video serves as a quiet reminder that isolation does not always equal safety. Even in landscapes that appear completely empty, the possibility remains that someone else may be closer than expected, watching, waiting just beyond the edge of the light. Was this an ordinary encounter left unexplained, or something that felt too uncomfortable to revisit? Not just in horror movies, but in real life as well, abandoned cabins have long been tied to urban legends and cautionary stories. They are the kinds of places most people instinctively stay away from. So when a group of French Canadians chose not only to explore one of these cabins, but to set up camp directly outside its front door, the outcome felt almost unavoidable.
Ouais. Fait que ce fut c'est une super de belle soirée. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez, les amis?
Moi, je pense que le feu, il a réussi à me dire. Il a réussi à tabarouette.
Un esti de beau feu.
Check, check.
Ah! Frank, pogne la flashlight! Vite, pogne la flashlight! Fuck, c'était quoi? C'est où? C'est pas de là. Il est chaud, là! Il est chaud, là!
Oh, shit!
You! Ah, ok.
Laisse aller, hein?
Dans l'eau.
Early on, the atmosphere appeared relaxed and uneventful. The group filmed their surroundings, treating the night like any other casual camping trip. But while recording the cabin itself, they noticed something unusual. From within the doorway, a shape briefly appeared, as if something were peering out from the darkness inside. They moved closer to investigate. The doorway was completely empty. There was no movement and nothing visible inside the cabin. Moments later, however, the same figure appeared again, this time outside the structure, close enough to confirm it wasn't a trick of light or shadow. Instinctively, they moved toward it, adrenaline taking over. Once again, it vanished. There were no footsteps, no sound, and no clear direction in which it fled. It was simply gone. What followed was confusion and disagreement. Some questioned whether the moment had been staged, a deliberate hoax created for attention. Others believed they had witnessed something genuinely unexplainable. The footage itself never offers a clear conclusion, which may be what makes it so unsettling. Whatever they saw did not behave like a person, but it didn't move like an animal either. That uncertainty leaves an uncomfortable question behind. Was this a prank taken too far, or an encounter with something that never intended to be seen at all? Either way, the moment fades without answers. This story begins with a couple in Russia driving late at night along a quiet road that cuts through a wooded area. It was a calm, uneventful drive, and nothing suggested that anything was about to go wrong. The low sound of the engine and the dark outlines of trees were the only things surrounding them. Without warning, that calm was abruptly broken. As they continued forward, a large tree suddenly collapsed directly in front of their vehicle, crashing down across the road and leaving them with no time to react. The fallen tree blocked their path, forcing the car to pass through the debris. No one was injured, and the vehicle avoided serious damage. But the driver was visibly shaken by how close the situation came to turning into a disaster. Even after the immediate shock passed, one question remained unanswered. What caused the tree to fall so suddenly? Whether it was simple coincidence, structural weakness, or something unseen, the moment served as a stark reminder of how unpredictable nature can be. In this case, there was no sign of malicious intent, only the sudden and very real danger of a massive tree falling without warning. Quick reflexes and a bit of luck ensured the couple escaped unharmed, avoiding what could have been a far more serious outcome. It is likely a moment they will remember the next time they consider driving through wooded roads late at night. Situations like this show how fast everything can change in a single second. And as you'll see in the next clip, that sense of sudden danger appears once again, just as unexpectedly. This short clip comes from the TikTok account Anfitter, which shared a video lasting less than a minute. It was recorded many years ago during a solo overnight camping trip. As night falls, strange and unfamiliar sounds begin to echo through the surrounding forest. These do not resemble the typical noises of nighttime wildlife, and there is no clear indication of where they are coming from. Alone and completely surrounded by darkness, the camper begins recording, capturing only the unsettling audio. There is no visible movement and no visual explanation, just the sounds themselves. No confirmation is ever given about what caused them. Whether it was an unknown animal, a natural occurrence, or something else entirely, remains unresolved. That lack of answers is what makes the clip so disturbing. In total darkness, the absence of explanation often becomes more frightening than anything that can be seen. Sometimes, the fear comes not from what appears, but from what never does. So, what do you think was making those sounds? And would you have stayed to find out? The same sense of uncertainty carries straight into the next terrifying video. This next clip was shared on YouTube by Casey Sanders and documents one of the most unsettling encounters a person could experience while alone in the woods. It took place on October 2nd, early in bow hunting season. Casey had arrived at his hunting stand as he had many times before, expecting nothing more than a quiet morning outdoors. Before he had time to settle in, something completely unexpected happened. From somewhere below, he heard a man shouting. At first, it made no sense. This was private land, remote, silent, and far from public access. When Casey looked down toward the creek, he saw a man standing in the water, holding a walking stick. He was completely naked, with no clothing, no gear, and no supplies. He appeared exhausted, disoriented, and out of place. Casey immediately began recording, not out of curiosity, but out of caution. He was alone, armed for hunting, and suddenly confronted with a stranger who clearly did not belong there. Given the circumstances, his reaction was firm and guarded. From his perspective, this was an unknown individual on his property, deep in the woods, behaving unpredictably.
Talking about Christian here, you know this is a hunter, and I'm a little confused. This is my land. I'm here with weapons, and somebody standing in my creek naked. I mean, I'm not gonna shoot you, but you're... What? Are you alone? If I see somebody else, this will not be good. What? Explain to me what happened.
As the encounter continued, the man attempted to explain what he believed had happened to him. He claimed that days earlier, he had attended Tomorrow World, a large electronic music festival. According to his account, after the event, he was assaulted by a group of people, stripped of his belongings, and abandoned in the forest. He said he had no memory of how far he had traveled afterward, only that he eventually found water and followed the creek, surviving for several days with nothing. What made the situation even more disturbing was the man's mental state.
Show? What kind of show? Do you know what it was called? You don't know what it was called? Huh? Where are your clothes? Where? You don't know where your clothes are?
He struggled to answer basic questions. He could not clearly explain where he was, had difficulty recalling the name of the festival, and knew he had an address but could not say it. At times, it was unclear whether he was describing real events or speaking through confusion, exhaustion, and possible trauma.
Nobody's with you. I mean, you gotta look at it from my standpoint. Listen, you know you're not far from... You went to Tomorrow World, I'm guessing? What? Okay, you're not far from the original place. Do you know where it's at in relation to where you live? Where do you live? No, better than that. No, what county? What's your address? What is it? You can't think of it? Hang on a minute, man. I got something to eat for you. Just don't do nothing stupid right now.
Holy crap. Despite the tension, Casey remained alert and did not leave. He provided the man with food and worked to keep him calm. Over the next hour, footage not shown in the clip, he slowly guided him out of the woods and toward a nearby road. Eventually, Casey was able to contact someone who knew the man and could come pick him up. After sharing the video, Casey addressed criticism he received online for sounding confrontational at the start of the encounter. He explained that viewers did not see what followed, the time spent helping the man, ensuring his safety, and staying with him until help arrived. He also pointed out the reality of the situation. There is no clear guideline for encountering a naked, disoriented stranger in your creek while alone and armed in the wilderness. He did not abandon the man, and he did not escalate the situation. Despite the fear and uncertainty of the moment, his actions may have saved a life. The encounter serves as a reminder that the wilderness does not only conceal animals or the unknown. Sometimes it hides people who are lost, broken, and barely holding on. And perhaps the most unsettling realization is this: some of the most frightening encounters in the wild are not supernatural at all, they are human. So what do you think truly happened to this man before he was found? It captures a solo trip into a national park that slowly shifts from calm and routine to something far more unsettling. The creator heads out alone, intending nothing more than a quiet stretch of time in the forest. There's no strict plan, no specific destination, just walking, exploring, and eventually setting up a small campsite. At the beginning, everything feels peaceful. He identifies what appears to be an ideal location to build a fire: dry ground, some protection from the wind, and enough open space to manage it safely. As he continues deeper into the woods, he observes the environment around him. Unusual plants, soft, muddy terrain, the kind of landscape that feels remote and rarely disturbed. He speaks casually about preparing a fire and settling in for the evening. There's no tension in his voice, only the steady confidence of someone comfortable outdoors. That calm doesn't last. A sudden crack echoes somewhere in the distance.
I'm gonna go under this. What the fuck? Hello? Gotta make a fire. I feel a lot better when I got a fire going. What the hell is that? This is a decent spot. I'm gonna go gather some wood. I'm gonna make a little fire, have a nice beer. I heard something cracking in the woods. Now, if you live in Canada, when you hear something cracking, it doesn't usually mean a small animal. It's usually a deer, a bear, anything of that sort. So it should never be taken lightly when you hear a branch breaking.
He attempts to ignore it and focuses on a practical task: starting the fire. The ground is still soaked from days of rain, and nearly everything around him remains damp. He methodically explains his approach, using birch bark as a dependable fire starter even in wet conditions. It's clear he understands what he's doing. Eventually, the fire catches. The flames bring light, warmth, and for a moment, relief. Then the sounds return.
Yes. What was that? Hello? I'm not afraid of this fire spreading because there's wetness everywhere. I'm just gonna do a 360 around camp because
Another crack. Closer this time. He pauses mid-thought and scans the tree line. He calls out instinctively, partly to identify an animal, partly to make his presence known. There's no answer, only silence. And that silence feels heavier than the noise itself. What unsettles him most isn't wildlife. In fact, he admits he almost hopes it's an animal. Animals behave predictably. People do not. The possibility that someone else might be nearby, unseen, watching his camp feels far worse than any bear or deer. He circles the campsite, checking the perimeter while keeping the fire alive. He explains that a larger fire can discourage curious animals from approaching, but his tone has changed. More cautious now, more deliberate.
What? Hello? Crap. Hello?